Hello everyone, I'm Xingjian Zhen from UW Medicine. Today I will introduce my recent work during my intern in Alibaba Dama Academy, CPR-GCN in automatic anatomical labeling of coronary arteries. In clinic, to diagnose the coronary artery disease, we need to use some computer-aided tools to generate the 3D images for a doctor, and the doctor manually look the images to determine which branches are not in good condition. This highly depends on the doctor and is very labor-exhaustive. Thus, the automatic labeling system is important in the clinic use. There are two major directions to solve this automated labeling. Before deep learning, the traditional methods are based on registration of the main branches like LM and RCA and use the topology of the artery trees. Another direction is based on deep learning using the topology of the tree structure. Since tree structure is a special case of the graph neural network will be a good replacement. Graph convolution network, as an example, absorb the information from local neighbors and are shown to perform well on some setup like molecular fingerprints and protein interface prediction. The main challenge of this problem is the variance of the branches. As shown here, these are two samples from our dataset. They all contain two subtrees, left and right, but the number of branches and the directions of the branches are all different. Another issue is that normally the main branches weigh more importance, but what if the main branches are missing from the pre-processing step? From those prior knowledge, the graph network only takes local neighborhood information to affect that node, which is similar as the coronary arteries. Also, the graph network can handle the variance of the graph structures, thus it can work on the situation of the missing branches. Another key part of our method is that we introduce the information of the CCTA images, while most of the other labeling methods work only on the centerline positions. The size, the background of the branches should all contain information for the labeling of the branches. So we introduced the Conditional Partial-Residual graph convolution network, which takes both centerline positions and the image information into consideration. To leverage the importance difference, we introduced the partial residual connection. The input of our model is the CCTA images and the preprocessed centerlines. The backbone of our model is the centerline positions passing through the graph convolution network. The information from the images are extracted at the extra conditions of our partial-residual GCN. There are four parts of our model: how to build the graph from the image, how to choose the position domain features, how to extract the image domain conditions, how to build the conditional partial-residual GCN. From the centerline positions, we add the nodes wherever the centerline bifurcate. This method does not require the prior knowledge of the topology of the branches. The position domain features are selected similar as our baseline model. The major difference is the way to present the S2 domain. We use the 2x2 matrix to encode the periodicity of two angles. For the image domain conditions, we use the moving cubes along the control points of the branches. The size of the cube is large enough to take the size of branches into consideration, as well as some part of the background information. We first use 3D CNN to extract the features within the cubes, and then apply an LSTM to encode the sequential information. The last state is used as the extra condition of our model. Similar as neural ODE, we have two variables x and y representing positions and the images. In our case, we treat the images at the extra conditions, thus it will be not changed between layers. If we use the neural network to learn the derivative of the h, since the y has no relation with layer L, it will be eliminated in the final equation. Thus, the total equation is the last one. The discrete case is shown in the right figures. At each layer, the y remains the same. This is the final framework of our model. The centerline positions are used to build the graph first, and then pass through the green box, which is the partial-residual GCN backbone. The centerline positions are also used to control the moving cubes of the CCTA images. The green box extracts the image domain information as the conditions. The whole network can be trained end-to-end. We collected the largest dataset with more than 500 subjects. All the subjects are labeled by two experts with a two-phase annotation. We re-implemented our baseline models on our dataset to perform the fire comparison. To examine the robustness of our model, we randomly remove some main branches from our dataset to see the performance of our model and our baseline model. There's 3% drop of our model, while our baseline model drops 7%. The results of all three models are shown here. Our model outperforms 8% on all the metrics. To further understand the importance of the components, we apply the ablation study. It shows the image conditions introduce 2% benefit, while the residual connection introduce 1%. The directed graph performs slightly better than the undirected graph, but the difference is not significant. Thank you for your watching. For more details, please refer to our paper. We are open to any questions in the Q&A section.